Sometimes you want to sell a product that is customized by customers. Suppose I want to sell mugs and put special designs and pictures on them. And they have different sizes, small, medium, and large. So based on which model the customer chooses, different prices are displayed. One way is to define variants for all possible conditions. So there will be a large number of these variants. For example, if I have 3 fields and each of which has 5 styles, I will have to define 125 variants, which will be very difficult to create and manage. Well, what if I tell you there is a solution for that in Selldone? This solution is called Custom Pricing Form or Valuation Strategy. The first step for that is to define the valuation strategy in Selldone. So now I enter the accounting section. Then I select the valuation tab. Now I click on New Valuation Form. Here I can add a title that will not be shown to the public. It is only for me so that I can manage it better. The next step is the structure. Here I can define the structure of my input form. Here I have different options. If I add the last 3 options such as selective, switch, and number to the form, I can define how much the price will change based on what customers select. I choose selective here, which is actually a list. Now I define the title and specify the size and 3 values for it. Well, now I want the calculated amount to change based on each of these options that the user chooses. So here I activate the valuation. Here you can choose whether the values you enter in this pricing lookup table will be added to the base price or be multiplied by it. Well, I choose multiplication here. If it is small, it will have the same base price. If it is medium, it will increase by 40%. And if it's large, the price will be 2 times. You can add more of these items, but for showing just a sample of it, this one title is enough. Okay, I'm saving this now. There is an option called Conditions. When we have several input forms and for example I specify that the first option is small, in the second option several items are disabled or not shown. Don't worry, I will talk about it more at the end of the video. Well, now I add this valuation strategy. As you can see, I have a valuation strategy here. The next step is to assign this valuation to one or more products. For that, I'm making a new product. So the model is physical, and now I enter some basic information of the product. Now I get to the pricing part. This is where you can choose the input pricing model. For the default mode, which is the normal one, there is only one entry. Area and volume modes will have 2 or 3 entries that are used for service and volume. But we don't have anything to do with this now. Now I choose the custom option here. Well, I chose the custom option for pricing input. Here I can choose my valuation model. I already did it before and now I just choose it. Well, now I see this error because in this step, before assigning this, I should have saved the product. Well, I saved the product here to make sure that the steps are done correctly. Now I'll go back to this step and select my pricing again. And as you can see, it was successfully assigned. Now I enter some other information about the product, like its image. And finally save it. Okay, now I enter the base price of the product, for example, $10. Then I save it. Well, now let's go to the project page to see how it is displayed. But first I have to enter an amount for the product inventory. For example, 20. Now I open the project page. Well, here is the project page in my store. Here I can choose the size, then I will add it to the cart. Well, now if I change the size, for example, medium or large, you can see that the price will change based on which item I choose. You can add more information to your form. Now I enter the management of valuations. Well, this is now a list with one option. I choose another option now, for example, another selective and switch. Then I enter some sample information for each of them. Well, I now have 3 options. For example, when the customer chooses the small option, you don't want to show 1 or 2 of these designs for selection. This is where we use conditions. For example, I want to determine based on the size which styles are shown and which are not. By default, all models are available. For example, I make these 2 options unavailable for the small size. And finally, I save it. Now if I enter the product page and refresh it, you see that other options have been added. You can see that when the product is added to the shopping cart and I delete the option that I have to choose, it shows an error. When choosing the small option here, this error shows that this product is now in the shopping cart, but now the changes I made are invalid and not registered. And this form needs to be completed. I choose the small option, and as you can see, there are no longer 3 options for the style here. It only shows the one that I chose. Well, as you can see, I received the confirmation message here. Well, by using this option in Selldone, you can sell a customized mug or a customized book without having to add lots of variants. And as you can see, there is no variant here. And all is done with just pricing strategy. Finally, at these places, you can ask and find answers to your questions. Subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.